plus 10 minus 2 for the hex. 26. Okay, he scrambles out of the way, splashes a little bit of water on himself. He takes half damage.
Ha! I hit him!
There's a bunch of fire. That fire, you just missed the urchin. You see this wooden statue of a street urchin, like a human, and the flames kind of its face a little bit.
Kid look familiar at all?
Like a spitting image of like the several dozens of urchins.
Street trash.
Yeah. It's because it's dark in here. It's full of terror. Ooh, spooky. Damage. 1d4. Is it a first level wand?
Cast your level 3.
Okay, 3d4 then.
9?
Half of 9 is 4. Okay, every little bit helps, I guess. You scorch Bark Wilder. He's howling a little bit, probably from the flaming spheres he's standing in. Manny is going to load another sling bullet. He's going to move forward and sling.
Art song still up.
Art song is still up. Oh man!
Should I just stop? It's the curse of the hand of our mustache.
You shake now.
You actually hear Manny's large sling stone kind of go bloosh into the brook. Next is Bark Wilder, who is in the middle of being hexed and standing in all this stuff. He's got Texerac Gat, he's bleeding, he sees the professor. I don't like you. He's going to 5-foot step this way. So now he's threatening the professor.
No, not me!
He needs to stop the bug from hitting him. So I think he's going to take a swing at the bug. A nat 1.
Nice.
He rolls a 22. He would have hit the bug, I believe.
Oh god, I'm gonna get fucked up.
Yep. So he didn't critical miss, but he did miss. And that was a 5-foot step. And I don't know if he has a second attack. Let me have a look here. She is a Bab. His Bab is not high enough.
Oh thank god, because I have an AC of 12.
No, he just takes a monstrous swing. He's still holding on to the device in the other hand, the strange wooden rod. And you can see plain as day that Luudo is not moving. It looks like he's made out of a very nice yew wood. Texerac Gat is going to do his full attack on Bark Wilder, which with 4 hands and his double blades sounds like 1, 2, 3, 4, and a bite.
All right. For the full round 1.
He's going to do the third option, probably.
Yeah.
No, the third option.
Double sword.
So the way to do this is 4 number sign 1d20 plus 9.
Does that include the bard song and everything?
That includes the Bard song.
16, 16, 15, 25.
3 hits.
And he was doing...
D8 plus 6s.
So
3d8 plus 18.
8. Oh, okay. I can just do it all at once.
Yeah. Yeah,
Plus-
Bark doesn't have any DR or anything like that.
18 is that what you said?
Yeah.
38!
3d8 plus 18.
Oh! 38. 70.
That might actually kill him. That could vary in your
75 and 8 is 83. Bark has... Let's see if his hit points were updated. For his size increase, he gains a +4 con, which means 2 hit points per hit die. Which means 8 times 16. Okay, I lied when he was bloodied. So, 80, 96. He's still up.
But he is bloodied.
Yeah, barely.
Tex gets a bite now?
He does get a bite. The bite's at a +4.
1d20.
As the bug just starts making a windmill motion with his double blades and just chewing Bark Wilder to pieces.
17?
AC 17, he then is kind of like half on the side of Bark Wilder that doesn't have the fireballs jumping on him, and now is biting at his arm, and kind of the bite isn't so much like a big dog bite, it's more of like an insect kind of gnawing, but taking away chunks as he's going.
So 1d4 plus 3 with Bark's on?
Looks like it, yep. Plus poison.
Oh, there's poison too?
Yeah, there's a con damaging poison.
How do I calculate that?
Just tell me the damage.
6.
6, okay. So Bark is now howling, not making any intelligible noises. He doesn't quite understand what has just sort of jumped into his face. And then the fortitude save versus the poison. This could kill him. The DC of the poison, I'm assuming he's going to poison him. He only gets to do this once per day.
Yeah.
The DC is 11 plus con mod. For him, it's DC 13 poison. It's not that great. But Bark Wilder is rocking that curse for -2 on his saves.
I was hoping to remind you right after you rolled and got it by 1.
His +10 becomes a +8. He rolls a 13, which is just enough.
Close.
Yeah, that the poison might get better with other con increase, and with there are feats you can do to make it better. So he managed to pull his hand away as there's weird juices squirting out of Gagat's mouth.
How much bleed damage does Tech take?
Tech takes 1 point of bleed damage
So he's up to
as that wound is still oozing. Which brings us to Zephyros. Now, Zephyros, you don't have to concentrate on the flaming sphere that's still in his square. So you could actually do a move and a standard. A move to roll the other sphere into him, and then actually cast a spell.
Which is what I'm going to do.
Okay?
awesome.
Alright. So the sphere rolls into him along the bankment. They're both jumping up at him. He's howling in pain, trying to shrug off this murder bug named Tech.
So he has to roll 19s to save, but I heard something about a hex, so does that mean he has to roll a 20?
No, I'll take it off my saves. So the saving throw of your spell is 19, you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay. And then we just double check. In his embiggened form, he's at a +7. 2 at 1d20 +7.
-1, right? Because of the hex?
Can I -4 from that? Let's go back.
You
gotta turn it down.
Yeah, would.
Can I -4 from that? So you still have a hero point. So you're saying you want
To penalize the villain.
to penalize the villain. Give me a second. Hero points.
Hero points usually... No.
They gain bonuses to rolls. They tend to help the people not harm the enemies. So it's more like you're trying to help. And it doesn't say anything about the DCs of spells. So I'm gonna not open up that.
Okay.
With a hero point, can you force? So when I give hero points to players, I definitely don't let them make enemies re-roll. However, the stream, sure, I will allow him to re-roll. I won't give him a penalty to auto fail. You can choose whether or not you want to spend the hero point. We can re-roll his saving throw.
I think that sounds fair.
Keep in mind, a villain point being spent right there. Okay, so We'll go in order. So there's a hero point first, and then Ahmed's spending a villain point to make something bad happen. Alright, so would you like to spend the hero point first, King Cuddles, on the reroll of the saving throw? You know you don't want to reroll? Okay, because that you'd have to roll less than 5. Yeah, I would say that probably. But Ahmed is calling for a villain point to be rolled. Alright, so I think before the flaming sphere goes off,
Okay, I'll move it back.
Bark is going to act out of turn
What?
and take a swing at the professor's head.
No!
An old,
Shoot him with the wand?
old defenseless.
Nope.
What am I gonna do?
He's right now just in an enraged state. He's got like single-digit hit points left. He's going to use his bloody mace against the very, very fragile-looking old man. As Bark looks like he's trying to get back into his house. Bark was a little bit out of reach from Luudo's statue. Otherwise, I would have had something happen. Happen that.
Thank God.
But Bark is just basically going to take a shot at the professor. Professor.
Is there anything a hero point can do for me?
You to die.
And this bloody mace comes hammering towards the professor. What's your AC?
It's a big old 12, I believe. Is there anything a hero point could do?
Did you mage armor or shield
No, I didn't
yourself?
do anything.
You just naked old man and charge right into combat. Okay, I get AC 28.
Do you have anything that gives you plus 16 AC?
Alright. I was hoping for
No?
a little bit more damage than
I
that.
don't know.
But he did 15 points of damage to you. And you take 1 bleed.
Oh. That's big.
So that's 15 damage, and you've got the bleed condition, which will start on your own turn. Now he has to roll his 2 reflex saves. Did I do that already? No.
No, we haven't done that.
Now reroll. Oh wait, reroll which? The attack roll or his saving throws?
Or do I do a saving throw on the
Bleed?
Or does that just happen?
Bleed just happens because it was a hit.
Yeah. The mace is causing the bleed. The wound is really jagged and bloody. King Cuddles, what do you want to reroll on? Is it the attack roll from Bark Walder, or is it the 2 reflex saves that he's got? The attack roll. Okay.
Could I use a hero point to act out of turn and move away
Yes.
before he attacks?
Give me a second. King Cuddles called his hero point beforehand. So instead of this attack roll, now this is to take instead of. So we have to take whatever result this is. The hero point AC 12.
That's just my AC with.
Bard Song doesn't do anything. What about above? He's below.
Nope.
Could I act out of turn
You can act out of turn. Yes, you can chain these things.
With a hero point to do.
You could go full defensive with a hero point. How many ranks in acrobatics do you have?
I'm a bumbling.
Full defense would be enough.
Full defense will give you a plus 4 to your AC.
I have +3 acrobatics.
So you get a plus 6 by going full defense. So you act out of turn to go full defensive, which gives you a plus 6. You did save him, yep. You gave him 2 points, and basically the mace comes in. You manage to duck, and it's now stuck into the side of the bridge. Bark's trying to pull it out while these 2 flaming spheres are rolling up the side of his flank.
That was close.
And now he needs to make 2 reflex saves, as you guys just used a whole flurry of hero points and villain points. Good stuff. Awesome. 1d20 plus 7. Did I roll these already? Forget. No.
No, you haven't.
So these are the 2 reflex saves, 11 and 22.
22 makes it.
11 fails with a 22 makes it, correct? So
Yeah.
you do 3d6 plus 1. He manages to dodge one of them by lifting up one leg, but the other one rolls right into the leg that's on the ground. He begins to scream and holler. 12 damage.
Yeah.
Bark Wilder comes crashing down to the ground. As flames are licking up his head kind of falls back into the water, but his legs are burning. I think Zephyros, it's still your turn.
Zephyros will move closer.
Okay.
30, right?
Yep. Makranam is just sort of like peeking over your shoulder. Makranam is a mimic slash bag of holding. His two little eyes open.
Oh, is it time for eating or time for keeping?
He's asking Zephyros a question.
I think it is time for eating, but I don't have anything to give you yet. Give me a few minutes.
Yes, Makranam can be very patient for gobbling.
We shall just see what we get from this creature.
Yes, see. Oh.
Alright, so fascinating as that conversation is, there are still some bleeding creatures, so what is everyone doing? I'm going to do one more round of just actions. Pharisee, what are you doing?
Pharisee is going to fly over to, going to let Bartong linger, fly over to Luudo,
Yep.
and start figuring out what has happened to him here.
Alright, Luudo looks like Luudo and his clothing are completely made out of wood. You're in construction. Name the type of wood that Luudo turns into.
2x4.
Heart of oak.
All right, so he's got the swirls of oak and kind of barky skin, but is in a perfect sort of rendition of Luudo, like he's been transformed. There are some things on Luudo that have not turned into wood. His little lucky vest is still cloth and not wood, and those would be trapped. I think it's just his vest. With a bit of... You could probably take off the vest with a little bit of effort. And Luudo's kind of like... He's almost like half falling backwards, and he's flipping two birds to Bark... like up in an upward motion to Bark Wilder.
I am a talented wood carver.
Yes?
I think I'm going to give him just the slightest of haircuts.
Okay.
I'm going to take off just a tiny bit of hair.
Nice.
So you off the top.
So you kind of like underneath his helmet, he's got that mining helmet on.
Yeah.
Mining helmet turned into wood, but you see a little tuft of hair, and you manage to cut off a little bit of wood, put a little bit of wood shaving from the hair of Luudo. Can you give me a knowledge nature check to make sure that you're taking hair and not part of his head?
23.
Or a heal check? Okay, you're pretty sure his head doesn't stick out from the top.
I've seen a head before.
Never know with these athletes.
He doesn't need this. Okay, Professor, what are you doing? This mace is still stuck above you.
No.
And it's dripping a little bit of the ichor from Tex Sirac onto you.
I will definitely move away from all of that nonsense
Okay.
and go check on Mr. Gaget.
Mr. Gaget, are you hurt?
To be still striking it, I will quick stow my Wand of
Burning Hands, quick draw Wand of Cure Light Wounds, and tap him with a charge.
Okay, Tex Sirac Gaget, it's not like he's angry at it. He just basically puts one of the blades against the chest of Bark Wilder and just sort of slices it in. He does move back a little bit as the body of Bark Wilder is shrinking to its small size.
What is internet super slow? Does anybody know Cure Light Wounds offhand?
D8 plus cast level.
Yep. 1d8 plus 1.
5.
Okay, that stops the ichor from flowing out of him.
Puts him back to 8 damage.
Yeah, 8 damage, and I'll get rid of the bloody state. You were able to make your use magic device check.
Oh, I didn't even do it. Just don't get a 1. 1d20 plus 12. 1d20 plus 12.
I didn't get a 1.
Okay. So you were able to trick the wand into believing that you were a divine caster and use the wand. Manny just kind of rushes forwards, he sees Luudo and comes right up to him.
What is it? What's going on?
Pixel responds in a way that no one else in but Ferris.
He's turned to wood. It's real wood.
I saw him cast it, but I'm not sure what it was.
You're a witch. Change it back.
Bring me the totem that cast this curse.
I think he's still holding it.
Okay, Bark is dead. Zephyros, I guess, is wandering over. What are you doing with your flaming spheres? Are probably petering out by now.
Well, since we're still in round level, I'll leave them be, because I don't know if there's anybody else creeping out of the woodworks anywhere.
Yeah, at this point, there's no one else that's bloody, and it looks like you guys have things under control. So the flaming spheres eventually go out, and you guys are now clustering around and can see this small garden. Luudo fits perfectly in to the garden of statues. There is a large man in heavy mail that looks like he's wielding this really shitty flail.
Ah. Is it as a wood carver? Are both of is that?
Is that the same work?
Yeah.
Yeah, give me a wood carver check or an appraise.
I'm gonna go with wood carving. Actually, my appraise is +8. My wood carving's +10. Good.
I've got a +9 appraise, so I could maybe aid you.
Yeah, I'm good. I got a 16.
Okay.
I could try an 8 on appraise. That's my class.
On wood carving, I'm doing wood carving.
Oh, never mind. Okay.
You guys can do appraise if you want.
Yeah, you can help out with appraise.
Okay.
Bye. 8.
Mine did nothing. Let me try again. Yeah, from me as well.
What'd you guys get?
28 from Zephyros.
Okay.
I almost said Avery.
16 for me.
What's the total? 20?
Sure.
The young deer drinking is in perfect condition. It is absolutely a stunning, realistic carving. There is no damage to it. The Inquisitor in chainmail in an angry pose has broken fingers, like the fingers are snapped off,
Mm-hmm.
and is holding on to like a really awful, awkward-looking flail.
Crudely carved edition. Yeah.
It is not part of the same wood. It doesn't look like it's sized properly for the man. The human urchin peeking around a corner is also in perfect condition, and so is Luudo flipping the birds.
At least almost.
Almost in perfect condition, aside from the slight mark, which is sort of whitish. You can actually see, like, you carved it, and it's like there's a fresh exposure of wood, and it's obvious if you look there. You haven't looked into the hovel or the tunnel underneath the bridge yet.
I've got one more question about the wood.
Yep.
Are they made out of the same wood?
No.
Luudo, the urchin, the deer.
No, they
Different
look like
woods.
they're different, made out of different woods.
I wonder if this flail here. This is Bark's work. Amateurish.
Yes.
Childlike almost.
It's not good at all.
But where did he get the wood? I wonder if this is another person that's been carved up into a flail.
Ooh. What happens if we turn that back, I wonder?
I bet it'd be very bloody.
The bloody mace that was stuck into the side actually plunks down to the ground as it seemed to shrink all the way down to a small-sized mace. Moments after Bark had let go of it. So it's lying along the embankment, full of the ichor from the murder bug.
I'll just quick stow my wand and make my way down the bank to go inspect the wand Dark Father was wielding.
Yeah, it is just basically lying in the earth beside the beside the brook.
I'll pick it up and start looking at it.
Okay. Are you casting the spells or doing anything particular with it? You pick it up. It is also wand size, like 11 inches long, kind of gnarly wood.
Would it be detecting magic and doing a spellcraft check?
Yeah, if you're going to try to figure out what this thing is, that would be exactly the thing.
I'm gonna do that then.
Okay.
27 on the spellcraft.
Wow, the DC is 15 plus spell level, which is
Damn.
26 is the DC.
Alright!
Oh man!
Wow!
You did it.
Okay. This is a known item called the Wand of Everbark. This device is believed to be crafted during the time of Peshelin, who was a great druid from long ago, and has been in the hands of many fae, adventurers, and tricksters ever since. It is a well-known item by the Inquisitors of Fane, labeled as highly dangerous. They have standing orders to seize this item for safekeeping in their vault, and to question anyone who uses it.
Do I know all this?
Yes. Like this was in a catalog of items that you knew about, and you're starting to identify it. It is an internal wand.
Ah,
What does that mean?
twice a day, perhaps?
Twice per day, it casts a spell called Flesh to Wood. Flesh to Wood is a variant of Flesh to Stone that only works on creatures. The victim is petrified and made of wood. It can be undone by any effect that would undo petrification, such as stone to flesh or break enchantment. The other power of the Wand of Everbark, you're lucky you got this, is called Undo Flesh to Wood.
Ah, splendid!
Treat this as a variant of Flesh to Stone, but can only reverse the petrified state of flesh to wood on creatures. Now, this undoing is dangerous, as there's a chance the creature dies from the shock of the transformation. The other thing you know is that if you start taking vital bits off of the statue and then turn them back, that would be very bad for the person turning back.
We have quite the prize here. This is the Wand of Everbark, sought after by many factions. It is highly dangerous and quite a bit of fun. I think we may be in luck, though, as far as Luudo's concerned.
Do I know if it's dangerous for, like, as far as Luudo's body just needs to be able to handle this, or it's more like, I just need to not fuck this up?
Well, you don't have the spell. It is considered a magus, shaman, sorcerer, wizard, witch spell, just like stone to flesh.
Yeah.
So you could use it. It's a wand. You're not allowed to put 6th level spells into wands, but this one does. Like, this is an item that you should not have. Probably why the Inquisitors don't let it float around when they find it.
The Inquisitors will seize anyone who's found with it and bring them in for questioning, but
It is the
That is why we have pockets.
It is the
Maybe it is
racking
for keeping,
experience
not for
upon the body for such a violent transformation that will make it dangerous for Luudo. Luudo will need to make a DC 15 Fortitude save to survive this process.
we
My
can
last
attempt to turn him back, but
What's that?
My last two didn't go so hot.
it
Yeah.
would be...
What is your fort save bonus?
Fortitude save
Isn't it
bonus is
2?
+4. Yep.
It would be quite a strain on his body to turn him back, though. Is there any...
I can curse him to make it harder.
Ah, well, that is an idea.
Pixel doesn't like your joke.
It's a terrible idea. Yes, that's true, Pixel.
She's like in front of Ludo's face, kind of pointing at you.
That's not a
I can sing inspiring words, and I can play an inspiring tune.
I'll reach out my hand and knock on Luudo.
Luudo!
Can you hear me?
Hello!
There is no communication to Luudo. Ludo's still kind of looking upwards and giving the
Say
double
in
bird.
Sylvan, so there are some benefits to his state.
Zephyrus walks closer and asks the professor, so this risk of him dying if we turn him back, is that only if we use the wand? What if we used some other spell to bring him back?
I know it's just hell on his body no matter how we do it, right?
So essentially, if we use break enchantment, for example.
Oh, look at you. Yeah, give me a knowledge arcana or spellcraft check to see if you guys know. Well, actually, you made it versus the spell, so you know the properties of the spell, but you need to know whether you've used break enchantment. That's a very interesting question.
Do you want me to roll a knowledge arcana?
I did a spellcraft for 21.
I think we need.
Or we need higher than that though.
I've got a knowledge arcana of 17.
Not entirely sure.
You have a suspicion that there may be other ways that are much more beneficial or automatic. You don't know exactly which ones they are. You just know that these spells are beyond your being. Yes, the wand is definitely the way it does it will make it hard on Luudo. It's basically twisting his body back into flesh.
Perhaps there are easier ways on his body, but seeing as we're in a bit of a hurry right now, I say we go for it. After
What else
Luudo,
we're going to do?
what do you think, Luudo? Don't say anything if you want us to try.
I'll
I
pop him back, or I'll fire up a bard song right before the spell, so that I can saving finale if it doesn't work.
Interesting.
Well,
So we're doing it now.
does anyone else have anything?
All right.
Here we go.
Are there any audience hero points? This would grant a +8 bonus if we called it out beforehand, or does Luudo have a hero point to spend on this?
I didn't raise my hand when we were talking with the ghosts.
Who else has
that's
hero
true.
points? Zephyros still has a hero point. Who else has one?
I've got one. I'm not going to use it, but I've got one.
Zephyros has a hero point.
I'll give you a second roll. That seems like plenty.
When the ghost asks,
Ooh,
for
Foxfire's
help-
using one.
Hey!
I'll use hero point for the plus. It's a +8.
Shit.
That's awesome. So a +12 with a second chance to not fail. That means the stream likes Luudo.
Well, we're in a hurry, so let's be on with it.
you guys are really bloody, aren't you? You're like, oh no, this isn't convenient. We're just gonna give him a 50-50 chance.
And I have no say.
Remember this. Right. Okay. So
Remember your success.
You know the arcane words to make the eternal wand work. With your identify, you know that it still bears a charge for the day.
Mm-hmm.
Bark did not use the second charge for the day. All right. And are you now waving this powerful device to try to undo Luudo from his petrified wooden state?
Yes, I'll at first wave it about, almost drop it, and pick it back up. Dust myself off.
Manny's brow furrows, and he's kind of growling a little bit at you.
I'll toss a little wink his way, and then I'll go for it.
Manny's not enthused. Make it work, is what he says. I'm pretty sure Manny's gonna do something to you if this doesn't work.
If it'll work, he may die, but he won't be wood anymore.
If he dies, you die.
Oh, well, we'll talk about that later. Anyway, here we go.
Let it go for it.
Okay, Manny's loading his slingstone.
I'll prepare to cast invisibility. Disappear, whatever it is.
Alright.
That's +8 on top of your +4, so that's +12.
Oh my god!
Yeah, okay, so... He did it! So Luudo...
Into the bard song then.
Luudo, even with the 18 you would have made it, but yeah. Luudo, this is a super painful experience. You dropped your knees into the earth of the embankment. You can see the bark of your skin kind of disappearing, and your clothing returning to normal. It was a terribly painful experience.
Can I throw up sap?
Sure. At the last moment, you kind of horked up a little bit of sap.
Well, hurry up now. We haven't got all day.
Good lord! Just let me lay here for a bit.
I'm gonna check my pocket. Do I have a little bit of wood in there or a little bit of hair in there?
I think it's wood.
I think it's probably wood.
Yeah.
Nice.
You got a little bit of wood that used to be Luudo's hair.
Okay.
How
that
are
change?
you, Luudo? How do you feel?
What the hell? He's shaken. He was in a limbo. No dreams, anything.
Yep. Pixel comes down to the end of your nose and gives you a little peck on your nose, and then goes off to Pharisee.
Luudo kind of stares off. He's like, I think I know what it means to die.
Manny just gives the professor a nod and kind of looks a little bit embarrassed that it got to the point of him threatening your life, but he picks Luudo up out of the.
You looked good, Luudo. You looked good.
Can I
as
high
wood.
five Manny
Good as
all
wood.
all dazed? Like,
Yeah, he just reaches down and picks you up and puts you on your feet.
well, guess you guys can't get rid of me yet. A little more sap shoots out of my mouth.
Yeah.
Oh god. Ooh.
Unfortunately, you may be worth more alive than dead to us.
There are others too that are trapped this way,
Yes.
including some that are missing pieces. We should look. See if we can find the pieces.
Okay.
I think we're out of charges from this one for today, though. And perhaps if we see someone that looks particularly interesting.
Luudo,
Yes?
you've seen Bark Wilder's door before.
Oh, have I
Why don't you lead the way into his lair while we figure out what other treasures he's captured?
I mean, this is all a bit traumatic for me, but I guess I'll stumble over there.
Couldn't
Figure it
be
all
worse.
out. It could be worse.
Okay. You go peeking into his domain. It is full of failed attempts at carving things. Just kind of dirty all along the sides, lots of whittling. Like, apparently he's really good at whittling, but not very good at making carvings. There is a carved wooden table, at which, kind of positioned in a really weird way, are a few other failed attempts of carving. Like he was trying to make a scene at a table where people were having tea. There is a very nice tea set that might be worth something, like a china tea set. You can mark that down on the treasure sheet. There are other creatures, though, of really excellent quality that Bark has got positioned around this large table, including a tooth fairy that is in perfect condition, a kitsune male that looks like it was also kind of peeking around the corner. A kitsune is sort of like a fox person.
Kitsune!
But its eyes are carved out. Like, it looked like somebody took like an awl and just sort of like drilled 2 holes in its eyes.
God.
And then what makes this scene look incredibly garish, aside from the crappy wooden dolls and half experiments that are clearly weren't creatures, is that a warhorse has been sawed in half. Its hindquarters are kind of like leaning up to one side of the room, and its front side is leaning up to the other side of the room.
Like bookends?
Like bookends to the room, yeah.
That we might be able to put back together.
There are masterwork thieves' tools that you find on him. Masterwork woodcutter saw, like the big kind of like the 2-person saw for cutting down trees, and there are masterwork wood carving tools. Texarakigat just was kind of like playing with weapons. He actually pulled the ring off the weapon, and the weapon turned from small size into medium.
Oh, okay.
And he put that down, and then there are bracers that are also magical that Bark had on him.
Yeah, I'll poke around on the body outside.
Okay. The bracers and the poke around on the body, like the statues, or
The dead guy, Mark Wilder.
okay, yeah, it's just the bracers and his weapon that you find on him.
I guess while we're down here, I'll do some detect magics on the statues and look around on the outside, if anything's still on the statues?
None of the statues radiate magic. I don't think the transmutation effect stays, or maybe it does. Give me a second. Let's see if
Give it a loot, give it a loot.
flesh to stone.
Give it a loot, give it a loot.
Is instantaneous, so no, it does not radiate magic. There is a bit of transmutation magic left over in the vicinity of where Luudo was transformed.
Okay. Well, all in all, I'd say that went quite well.
You notice something wrong with the back of the head of the Inquisitor statue.
I'll go and take a look at it.
It looks like it was covered up, but it looks like that same tool that drills holes in wood drilled a hole right into the back of the head of the Inquisitor. Like there's a 4-inch kind of like half an inch or like a pinky finger wide indentation just bored right in the back of the guy's head.
I think if he came back, he'd be unhealthy.
Yes, he seems to have a peculiar habit of maiming these statues.
Check the child.
I'll wander over and check the street urchin.
Yeah, the child is in perfect condition.
Looks like this one's okay. Do I recognize it as Zalara's child?
It is not Zalara's child.
Not Zalara's, though. Oh well. The quest goes on.
Leave it for now, I guess.
So it looked like anybody. I'll take a glance around. Anybody who sort of fits into our ilk, we definitely wouldn't revive the Inquisitor, even if he didn't have a hole. I mean, we might revive him with the hole in his head just for kicks, but. Yeah. Does anybody look like our type of riffraff?
Survive it.
Well, the second charge got used, right?
We should. I would like to.
You don't know. The kitsune is an interesting looking creature.
Doesn't have eyes.
Maybe Bark Wilder didn't like its eyes.
Yeah. Well, all right.
I have an idea.
You eventually do find the like it's like a hand screw kind of thing that does cut holes into wood. You could take that if you wanted.
Never know.
Let's give the gobbler 2 things. Let's give him the poorly carved flail for eating,
Yes.
and the tooth fairy for keeping.
Oh. Okay.
It responds by climbing off of Zephyrus's back, it being the Makranam gobbler. It then kind of hobbles towards you along the ground, kind of.
Is it time for eating or keeping?
Both.
He just opens his mouth and sort of slowly hopping up and down, eager.
I'll pick up the wooden flail then and
Okay.
dangle it over him and say, "For eating." And I'll drop it.
Then the wooden flail disappears into his belly. You can hear kind of like a swishing around.
And I'll pick up the tooth fairy
Wood.
and I'll say, "For keeping."
Keeping, yes.
And I'll stuff the tooth
Keeping.
fairy in.
Keeping for Pharaoh's sake.
Oh, interesting. It knows who.
And
Who it's kept for.
it gobbles up the wooden statue of the Fae, and on his character sheet you can keep track of
Yes.
who's keeping what inside the Makranam gobbler.
Yeah, we gave him something last time.
I think it was the droppings, the file droppings from Gaedran.
I think it's on the Makranam Gobbler himself.
Yeah, that's probably the right way to do it.
Anything else?
Oh, does anything look good for eating around here?
Yes.
No? Anything in particular?
Everything.
Well, okay, well,
I like your stick.
no, not this. Not for eating or keeping right now.
Oh, that's unfortunate. I could eat it or keep it real good.
Actually, I think I'll hold on for the moment, though. I'll wander into the hut. Is there Anything to make tea going on in here? Anything
Yeah,
like
there's a
that?
tea set and like a tea
Oh, yeah.
like he lived here, so there you have some basic camping supplies and basic living.
I'll pop my head back out. Would anyone like tea? Go back in.
Okay.
Fix myself a cup of tea.
Soon you guys are inside Bark Wilder's home, or surrounded by creepy statues, looking at his magic items and drinking his tea. Are you guys? Is this a sign that you guys are resting here for the evening?
What time is it now?
It's pretty.
You guys did walk several hours after. It's only like 2 in the afternoon.
It's probably too early for us to rest because we still have to pay wages for this tech guy.
I have quite a bit of spells left. I could keep going.
The
Around a bit more.
the meta reason to rest is that you get your level.
Yeah.
But I understand.
Plus,
We
Mr.
should have
Gaedran.
considered that before we hired a very expensive mercenary.
Yes.
Still on the clock, I'd say. I think after
The
this.
spot of tea, continue on our way, maybe take a look around outside.
Check the sides of the river.
Stay away from that smokestack where it looks like someone is.
Is it not
What are we
worth
doing with
resting?
other statues? Is what Pixel asks.
They seem safe here. I think we'll turn them back. When we have time, when we have the powers.
Should we drag them in?
Sure.
Okay. Mandreas
Can't
goes
hurt.
and drags the Inquisitor statue, even though that one's in bad shape, and just sort of leans it against a wall, and then he goes outside and
Look at
picks
this
up the
horse.
street urchin and puts it into a corner. Yeah, the horse looks like it was sawed in half after it was turned into a statue. You can actually see weird, like, you know how like wood has rings?
Yeah.
The rings are all weird, kind of mimicking the bone structure of and the organs of the horse that's just basically been sawed in half.
It's a bit disturbing, but it's really intricate.
The horse had a saddle, like it looked like somebody's war horse.
We made a great deal of racket out there, but from the looks of things, that might not be out of the ordinary for the most recent occupant of this hovel.
Perhaps. Do we
I,
find a key around here?
I don't remember seeing it.
Like a key for winding a construct.
No key.
Okay.
Ooh.
Zephyros looks at the party and says, I wonder if we should not stay here for the night. We will benefit greatly if we do. Not only will we have rested, but we will have more power when we attack tomorrow.
Very true. Maybe some scouting, though, tonight.
Wouldn't hurt, or before the sun goes down.
That
Someone
might not be a bad idea.
someone comes out of here and goes and winds that mining, that rail laying golem.
They'll notice that it's broken down the gate as well.
Yes.
We may lose our element of surprise if we stay overnight.
We may die if we go now.
I do not relish the idea of sleeping in these woods either. We may die if we sleep here.
Okay. Sarat Gagat takes out a wand
No.
and casts Cure Light Wounds on himself twice, and puts the wand away.
Why didn't you tell me you had that? I wasted a charge on you. I'm going to discuss this with your
Contract holder later.
I'm just kidding. I mean,
He's just looking at you. He cocks his head off to the side and makes a clicking noise.
anyway. Luudo, are you up for exploring?
Yeah. You know I am.
Sarat, after not quite understanding your conversation, just goes and props himself by the doorway and is having a watch.
We might want to hide that body out there, too.
Oh, yes, good idea.
Manny, since you were so eager to turn me into a corpse earlier, perhaps you could take care of that for us?
Would you like it butchered?
Are you hungry?
Tech?
It is meat.
No,
Oh, you were looking for meat, weren't you?
Not that sort of meat, says Manny. Although, when the word meat sounded, you actually heard Manny's stomach kind of grumbling in the same way that, like an office worker who's really hungry during a meeting, during a quiet moment in a meeting.
There's a saw and a horse.
Okay, Texarak goes and listens to you, and you can hear the bone-wrenching sound of him butchering the corpse.
Sounds like Tex found himself lunch, at least.
That's interesting to know.
Pixel's like, that's gross.
We'll try and yes, we'll try. We're not made of as much meat as anyway.
Okay. There's something like a wet bag being broken open and some tearing of flesh outside.
I'm just going to close this door.
Oh yeah, he's basically taking the bad organs out of Bark Wilder.
I'll take a look at it and give it kind of like a.
Yeah, he cut his belly open and is
I've seen
now tying a rope around his legs and putting him upside down.
Ooh. Nice work, Tech.
Okay, Tech does not
Enjoy,
do anything to the compliment.
enjoy yourself. Okay.
I think we should go do a bit of scouting now.
Yes, capital idea. Shall we? Luudo? Perhaps you should lead.
You doing okay? Is what Manny says to you in Halfling.
I think so. Just enjoying living for the most part.
I'll say you're welcome in halfling to him.
Impressive.
You keep forgetting I speak this language.
Yeah.
You're very smart, aren't you?
Is what he says to you in Giant.
Uh,
Oh, he heard you and Zafira speaking in Giant before.
Yeah. I will say something in gibberish
that means nothing at all, but I will say it very confidently.
Maybe sour look finishes up the last bit of tea, which isn't poison, and
Yeah, right. Hey guys, have this tea.
and they're all poison.
you're all like, "Oh, you look really sleepy." Taking the war horse and making a cool table of it. Yeah, that's pretty creepy. It's my war horse
Really
table.
nice.
I was thinking you could just have used Luudo for decoration if
It
that
just
just
Yeah.
looked
worked.
really,
All
really
fails.
well made.
With that table, Luudo would have been the
With
chair.
really interesting patterns in the wood grain.
After spending some time in Bark's lair, you get the sense that Bark was a carpenter who wanted to be a carver of wood.
Yeah.
Who wanted to do art, but was just really good at putting planks together and making doors and tables.
Yeah.
You find both artist tools as well as carpentry tools in here. You manage to gather up the things that are worth any money. He did have a little bit of money stooshed away in like a cookie jar. I think you found Bark had $67.50, which I will paste onto your loot page.
Do we get any sense as to how he got that wand that he had?
Given what the professor told you about, it's a well-known item by the Inquisitors of Fane. It's likely an item the Inquisitors have tried to lock up several times, and maybe somebody may be stealing from their vault. The Inquisitor outside might have been sent here to get it.
Could be. Inquisitor inside now in a corner.
Right, in a corner. It could be the Inquisitor's horse. You guys could give me a spellcraft check or a knowledge arcana for the Blood Star.
Oh.
As well as one for the Darkwood Bracers.
I'll give you a knowledge. I'll.
Dark Star is knowledge arcana or spellcraft. The
Right.
Bracers are definitely just spellcraft.
I've got a 16 on spellcraft.
Can I aid? I'll aid on spellcrafts and knowledge arcanas. I guess I won't aid on that one. That one's done. Yeah.
I can do the spellcraft.
We'll each do our own spellcrafts,
But
and then we'll do a big old group knowledge arcana.
Sounds good.
15, not so good on my spellcraft. Who's taking lead on the knowledge arcana?
I've got a +9.
26 spellcraft for the
I've got a
bracers.
plus 20 on my knowledge arcana.
Okay, so we'll aid you on your knowledge arcana.
20?
10.
Plus 10.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ooh, nice 26.
Whew.
Okay.
I successfully aid on the knowledge arcana.
You saw
So do I.
the first thing is the weapon ring of size alteration. This can be placed upon a magic weapon that can make any
22.
that can change the size of a weapon between small, medium, and large. Basically, it can alter it.
Nice.
Perhaps that's how Bark was making the weapon small,
Yeah.
and then when he turned big, it was turning big.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you do have this, it only functions on magic weapons, which then gives you the logical deduction that the bloody mace, also it was glowing, is magical.
Oh, yeah.
The DC
Yeah.
16 is enough to know that it's +1. However, the other checks are able to figure out that it is a +1 wounding Morningstar. And this Morningstar is owned by the Inquisitors of Fane, or at least that was their item. And they commonly used it to injure and track their quarry. So in battle they injure you and then people try to run away and they're bleeding and so that was their tactic. So it's called the Blood Star. Bark's Darkwood Bracers are bracers of armor +2. As a secondary power, give you a +4 competence bonus on craft carving checks.
I would love those bracers.
They're quite fetching.
Do you actually have ranks in craft carving?
I have craft woodworking.
Awesome. Same.
Is that close enough?
Yeah, that's close
Yes.
enough. Yes. Same skill.
I really gotta be a stickler about this one.
It won't make my bark much harder, of course. These robes already do a little bit.
It certainly wouldn't
Someone else wants to wear the robes, they could ask me.
No.
But I'd like to wear the bracers.
Certainly wear the braces. I'd love to see what you can carve with them.
The robes are the ones that conjure the
The magic shuriken,
Magic
yeah.
shuriken.
So that one's it's useful as well on its own.
Yep. Alright, so I'm gonna paste onto your wrist slot the Bark's
Sounds good.
Darkwood Bracers. Yeah, the +2 doesn't stack with the +1.
Right.
Is anyone getting does anyone want the robes or not?
Probably me. They won't fit on Zephyros, who'd be the other large.
No, magic items do expand to the
Oh.
proper size, and the weapons would be of the proper size. So Luudo could use small ninja stars, Zephyros could have large ninja stars.
Does Zephyros have decent armor?
Zephyros can't wear too much armor because that might prevent spells, right?
This one is a robe, so this would be good for you.
So yeah, so Zephyros just has heavy robes, large. He doesn't have any particularly special robe.
I think
His bracers +1 would not stack with his leather armored skirt.
Seems like the last.
And then I pasted the Wand of Everbark on the professor? Is that who's carrying this right now?
I think that's who's got it right now, yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
Because it could be used by
Lots of us can use it.
all of
and
us
it's
can use it.
certainly, I mean, it's highly dangerous, so I'm sure everybody's probably like a little interested in it.
Yeah.
I don't mind. Zephyros doesn't mind. Any one of you can take it. Can take the stuff.
Alright, where am I putting the robes?
It seems.
I think Zephyros. You don't have any other armor, right?
He does.
He has
He does.
this.
He's an armored skirt.
Yeah.
Skirt.
Oh. But this would just
Affect his
incorporeal
corporeal
touch.
touch.
Yeah.
Type.
But wouldn't this be more useful for somebody like Luudo or the professor?
Maybe.
Professor, do you have any are you armored at all? I'll poke at your flesh.
Ouch! I have this vest. I got a +1 vest of resistance. That's it.
That's not armor.
Wear the robes.
Oh, do you think they'll look good on me?
No.
Well, that was...
But wear them regardless.
Alright, so I've pasted those onto the professor's sheet. And then who is taking the bloody star?
Mm.
The Bloody Star?
Yep.